All right, well, here's our first figure review for the Cyber 9 series. And for the first review, we're going to do the main character, which is Jack. Jack is the main character of the show, and the impression I get from him is he's really annoying in the first episode, but he gets better. And you better like him because, well, he's the main character. And he does get better, and he's pretty dynamic, and he has to carry the whole show mostly. But he comes in two different variants. He comes in this variant, which we're going to do an unboxing of. This is the way he looks in the show. And then this is the pilot version. And he never looks like this in the show. He's got this big stupid helmet on here, and this is the only version I had when I was a kid, was this one, or when I was younger. And he comes in a couple different vehicles as this version. Now his arms are bent permanently in this 90-degree angle right here. His legs do bend 90 degrees so he can sit in vehicles, and he has a little knee pad. And when I got this guy, I loved the vehicles, and this guy came as a free figure, and I didn't really know that much about the series. And I'm like, this is probably the stupidest action figure I've ever owned. And I've owned a lot of stupid action figures, but the hat just really kills it. But he does fit in a lot of the vehicles really well. These are solidly built. I mean, this guy's like, what, 30 years old, and he's just fine. I think they're 20 years old, actually. They're getting up there, though. But his limbs are kind of, I wouldn't say it's a soft rubber, but it's a soft plastic. And then his chest is kind of a hard plastic. And you can see, like, his paint on his limbs and his head is kind of a flat. And then his torso has a shiny paint job. Now, this is the guy that you see in the show, which he has this long hair. You know, it's open. And you can see right here, whatever discount store, this might have been Big Lots or something like that. It was 99 cents. And even today, 25 years later, you can still pick these up for fairly cheap. Like, you have to hunt around if you want to get it that cheap, but you can. So I'm just going to open this one up because it's not rare, and there's nothing super special about it. So all the packages, before I open it, all the packages have this M shape, and what changes them from figure to figure is the inner blister that they're held in, and then this little graphic here is just a little piece of paper that they inserted in. And this is what the back looks like. And this background pattern here, this is actually what the Xyber 9 vault door looks like. It looks exactly like this on the show, and that's what the theming of it is. It doesn't have this little triangle, but this riveted, it's like early 90s CGI steel graphics is what the main vault looks like. So we're going to crack this open. This peels off really nice, so I'm going to keep a couple of these, but all the cards are exactly the same for all the figures. What makes them different from character to character is this little paper insert, and it's not taped in or anything. It's just set in there, just like that. They just pop it in, and then this inner blister here is what holds the figures. Now, this guy's head sculpt, he has to have that flowing hair, and how do you translate that into plastic? Is it from head on, it looks okay, and from the back it looks okay, but if you look real close, his neck is really thick because they had to get that hair look to it. So this is the figure, and if you look, the bodies are almost identical. He has the same little hand, little glove. This hand is the same. The only difference is these arms are bent at 90 degrees. So you might be able to head swap if you wanted these 90-degree angles, but you don't really need them. And then he has this removable back piece, and this back piece is really important because it holds Xyber 9. And this is Xyber 9. This little stick with a ball on it is actually one of the main characters. And he's basically just like an Alexa device and a key. And he's like this ancient technology that can rule the world. And his name is Xyber 9. And he's voiced by the same actor who is Odo in Deep Space Nine, Star Trek. And he's kind of a cross between Kit from Knight Rider and Alexa, basically. And Mr. Feeney from Saved by the Bell. So, you know, Jack kind of holds this guy around, and he goes on adventures with him, and this guy, like, you know, makes snide comments about how terrible his decisions are all the time. And he fits in this back piece here, just like that. And he sits over his shoulder. He's like, hey man, you're doing it wrong. Hey, you're doing it wrong. Why are you doing that? Oh, that's the stupidest decision ever. I wouldn't do that if I were you, Jack. I wouldn't do that. But, I mean, then when they come into, and like I mentioned before, this is a treasure hunting show. So whenever they go on a treasure hunt and they need like the special dungeon unlocked, Jack comes in and he plugs this little point into a hole in the ground, and magically all the stuff turns on and opens up and stuff like that, and they can get the magical treasure. So that's Jack and Xyber 9. He also comes with a carpenter's square for whatever reason. I don't know why. A nice carpenter square if you need to, you know, build a shed or something. And he comes with this triangle thing, which I've never seen him use in the show. And a gun, which he rarely uses a pistol, but it's nice that he comes with one. It fits in his hand really well. So that's my review. Oh, wow, check this out. Before I go, his waist swivels, which it does not do on this figure. So I didn't even know that because I didn't have this guy. But his waist swivels gives him a lot more, a little bit of action. I mean, overall, I really like this guy. His vest is actually a little rubbery as well here. And there we go. There's Jack from Xyber 9.